I really appreciate you joining me today, and this news comes from London, and it's about the murder of a woman named Agnes. A 63-year-old man from North Acton has been convicted today for her murder and also false imprisonment. Agnes Akom was 20 years old. She was known as Dora, and she was a Hungarian national who was believed to have been a sex worker in the UK and lived here for 5 years. She was approximately 5 foot 5 inches tall, with blonde hair, and she was wearing a white coat with blue jeans and pink trainers when she went missing last year. She worked in the city as a coffin maker, and police caught the moment that the lorry driver, who was 64 years old, called Neculai Pazain, carried her body in a bin to a recreation ground where he disposed of her. During the trial, it was revealed that Pazain had a £700,000 flat in the Notting Hill area, but he chose to live in a shipping container in the Brent area, and he didn't have any running water there. On the 11th of May 2021, Agnes had left her home in the Cricklewood area, and then she was never heard from again. The police launched a missing person investigation, and they issued a number of appeals to try to find her and to try to get her to make contact, but nobody said they'd seen her. Due to the growing concerns for Agnes's welfare, the investigation was passed on to the Specialist Crime Command, who with their expertise continued to try to solve the case. The police were able to establish that she got into a motor vehicle on Cricklewood Broadway on the 9th of May 2021, which was quickly established to belong to the defendant. The vehicle was then tracked by police to the makeshift home inside the shipping container, and this was situated on North Acton Road in Brent. An extensive review of her phone records and call data established had been in the vicinity with the phone belonging to Pazain over a 12-month period. On the 18th of May 2021, officers visited the shipping container in order to speak to Pazain. Upon arrival, they had to break several padlocks in order to gain access, and the London Fire Brigade was called to attend the container, and they quickly gained access. No one was found inside. However, while in attendance, the defendant arrived on the scene. He told the police that he did know Agnes, and he initially said that he met her about 2 weeks ago. He was taken to a Wembley police station to give a witness statement, and other officers went through CCTV on the industrial estate to corroborate his account. In the interview, Pazain said that he'd actually taken Agnes to the container on the 9th of May 2021. They stayed there for a short time, but then he dropped her off at a nearby cash point, and he hadn't seen her since. The CCTV confirmed that Pazain and Agnes had entered the container on the 9th of May 2021, but it did not show that she'd left any time during that day. As a result of the inconsistencies in his statements, Pazain was arrested on suspicion of murder and also false imprisonment. Detectives continued to review the CCTV, and they gradually pieced together his movements in the days that followed, and he was also seen carrying a number of items from his car after visiting a skip in Neasden recreation ground. Inside the skip, police found Agnes's coat, and a full forensic examination found the blood matched her DNA. Other bloodstains were subsequently found in Pazain's car, and all the facts led the police to conclude that Agnes had came to serious harm, but Pazain denied any involvement or knowledge of her death. On the 23rd of May 2021, he was charged with her murder. However, at this point, the police weren't able to find Agnes's body, so every piece of evidence suggested that he'd taken her to the recreation ground. Specialist dog units were used on the 14th of June, and this was 36 days after she went missing, and the 2 police dogs gave an indication near a fallen tree. They found Agnes's body. They determined from the post-mortem that she'd suffered blunt force trauma to the head and been hit at least 20 times. Detective Inspector Neil John said, "Our thoughts today are with Agnes's friends and family, who have not only suffered the loss but had to endure the details of the murder during the trial. The level of violence that Pazain used on Agnes was truly horrific. She suffered inside that container, and it does not bear thinking about. While it's not clear why he killed her, his attempts to hide the crime in the following hours shows that it was a calculated effort." The inquiries quickly identified Pazain, and they said that he had regular contact with Agnes over the past year. They said he also lied during the trial to try to paint Agnes in a bad light, and they said their investigation revealed that Agnes was actually vulnerable and he had taken advantage of her. So my condolences to the family and friends of Agnes, and thank you for joining me for this story, and please pay respects in the comments below. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news, and please don't forget to follow online as well at Scarcity Studios on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and Facebook.